Hello everybody, welcome to this week's weekly bump. Thank you guys so much for being here. So let's go ahead and get started. As always, we have 3 piles. So the name of the game is just pick a pile, right? So timestamps for each pile will be down in the description box and the comment thread down below for easy access. Now, some people like to take a moment and connect with the cards a little bit. So you feel free to pause the video if that's you. If you don't necessarily always feel connected to the cards, that's perfectly fine. I always say you can just randomly pick a pile because there is an element of destiny involved. Either way, again, timestamps in the description box and the comment thread down below. All right, see you in just a sec. Alrighty, pile number 1. You guys selected the Teal Agate, so let's go ahead and take a look. Starting with love, compassion. So this is clearly going to be a week where this is a theme for you to some degree, and really learning how to exhibit and to live in compassion or live in a compassionate state. This can be a very difficult thing to do. Compassion is not always easy because it asks us to look past certain things, to look past people's behaviors, past people's patterns, past people's humanness in a lot of ways. To be able to see them as a light or a being of love, even if they might not be acting that way. Some of you may need to walk away from something, right? Some of you may need to sever. Others of you may need to open your hearts a little bit and let something in. Could go both ways. All of that rooted in love, like not like romantic love necessarily or per se, although it could manifest in that kind of relationship. But it is more open than that. It is less defined than that. And you may find yourself deepening love and compassion for people that have really tested you. They've really pushed you. They've really challenged you. And what I'm sensing with this love is actually a sense of relief, a sense of surrender is the word I'm looking for. Because when you choose just to love, you then choose to let go of control. And when you choose to let go of control, you choose freedom. So it could be a process. I'm not saying it's all going to happen like today or anything, but I think that this is ultimately where you're headed. Your heart is maturing, okay? So we have the 2 of Coins, the 9 of Wands, surrender, what did I say, right? Hanged Man. And there may be even an element of sacrifice here with the Hanged Man as well. There is something that you're needing to sacrifice. I don't mean necessarily give up unwillingly. I think it will be something that you will willfully surrender or walk away from or let leave you in a lot of ways too. So I'm looking at this King of Coins and I'm trying to think whether I feel that this is a positive manifestation of the King of Coins. I didn't put reversals in the tarot today. I didn't really feel like I wanted to do reversals. But I'm kind of getting an energy of pride. What I'm sensing is pride from that King of Coins. Not always or necessarily the best kind of pride either. And I don't necessarily know that this is you per se, although there could be elements of this within you, but I'm also sensing it's someone else, the person that is likely teaching you these lessons of love and compassion. This is someone that might not be able or willing or ready to fully give. Now, normally a King of Coins can be an extraordinarily generous sign or card, really. But with the Death card over here, I'm kind of feeling like a little bit of a clingy energy with that King of Coins. It's like someone is withholding or they're grasping at something and they're not being very open. They're not being very transparent. They might be confusing you even a little bit, which is why this Two of Coins, it's almost as though you don't quite know exactly where you stand. You don't know if the offer is coming through. You don't know if how they feel about you. You don't know if this is moving forward. You don't know. This is where like the surrender and the sacrifice really comes from, is sort of sacrificing that desire to know, sacrificing the need to have it all figured out without completely closing off, right? 9 of Wands. The tendency for you to want to close off is probably going to be pretty high. You know, the tendency to pull yourself in, to go inwards, to withdraw. But then again, if you do that based on the way you are perceiving someone else, you're giving your power away to them. And with the Death card here, it tells me that this is an opportunity for some pretty significant transmutation. This is an opportunity for you to take a scenario, to take a situation, and to not react in a rash or a haphazard way, but rather to respond through love. And that's the choice. That's the choice that we make. For some reason with this King of Coins, I'm just really seeing, the word that's coming to my mind is miserly. They're being very miserly. So miserly with their time or with their talent or with their love or with their, you know, their skills. They're just like keeping it all for themselves. There's an element of greed. And they're just sort of Page of Cups, sort of dripping it out, just a little bit and a little bit and a little bit at a time. I don't know that that's going to be good enough for you. And yet this is that sort of test to love and say, well, if that's what you want to do, then that's what you want to do. But I'm not necessarily going to sit around and wait, because if you get to do what you want to do, then I get to do what I want to do too. And this is not what I want. So I am going to, I don't know, change locale, right? I'm going to move on. I'm going to continue forward with or without you. Okay? Power. See, there is an element of power, self-empowerment rather. Are you, and we also have this fulfillment of wishes. Are you in control? Are you, I don't know, because I know that a lot of you have this awareness, right? You have this awareness of self, so that when you are about to say something or when you are feeling something, obviously you are aware that you are feeling that thing. That's really where the power truly comes from. And I'm getting this sense that this is an opportunity for you to practice empowerment. Compassion is a source of empowerment. Love is a source of empowerment. And what's odd is perhaps doing exactly the opposite thing, or the thing that feels most unnatural, or the thing that feels the most scary, actually is the path to the fulfillment of all your wishes. The thing that you think is the path of scarcity is actually the path of abundance. You just had it written in your head a certain way for so long that the truth of that path was overwritten. But now you're going to see the truth. See, don't let pride get in your way. And that's what I think this person kind of brings out in you a little bit is your pride, your ego, right? With that lion there, it's your ego. You want them to see it your way. You want them to understand it the way you understand it. You want them to feel the way you feel. But I don't know that that person can really give that to you right now. And letting go of any desire to change that is really your power. Your commitment is being tested. Yeah, but your commitment to what? Your commitment to yourself, your commitment to your life and the idea that you have of what you want your life to be. and whether or not this King of Coins can really fit into that. Now, it doesn't have to be a romantic partner. Remember, this could be many represent many different types of relationships. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a person. It could also be like a company, right? Or an institution that you're involved with to some degree. But does the mission of the King of Coins, whatever that symbolizes, does that match, does that mirror what you see for yourself in your life? And I think that's a very real question. I think that's something that you're going to have to really contend with within yourself, and to be brutally honest, because clearly there are some revisions that are going to need to be made. And when you don't let pride get in your way, you then are truly free. And then we have this coyote spirit, trust in divine detours. This is not probably the path that you expected to take. This is not how you truly expected this to go. This is probably not what you thought you signed up for. But that's the problem sometimes. I think that we, quote unquote, sign up for things, right? Or we move in certain directions with certain expectations. And perhaps maybe this is a lesson in expectation, too. A little bit of a lesson with that. So the universe is re-guiding you. Death with trust in divine detours, your flexibility, your malleability, your willingness is all going to be extraordinarily beneficial for you this week. Connect to the divine. I don't know that you really have a choice. I think you are by nature connected, but this is conscious connection. This is consciously tuning in and saying, what brings me peace? And sometimes the most challenging paths, the ones that scare us the most, right? But ultimately the thought of that path, or the thought of the potential effects of that path, are what truly bring that peace. And so that's what you really need to continue to follow the things that bring you closer to that state of peace and serenity. She feels, she knows. So I don't know that any of this is really a surprise. I think this is something that you have been thinking for a while, you've known for a while. There are no surprises this week at all. Like, it's not like something's going to just suddenly pop up and here's the King of Coins all of a sudden creating this problem. Like, no, I just think that this is a week of kind of last straws. This is a week where you have to just kind of say, okay, well, I've known, this isn't a surprise, and I just have to accept it for what it is. Maybe also, right, expectations is one, but also acceptance is another big theme this week for you too. Accept the way it is and make decisions accordingly. And only then can you truly begin to really make changes. And I suspect that there are new directions and new goals and new ambitions that you'll have for yourself that you'll be really, really, really glad that you didn't hold yourself back. Okay? All right, you guys. I love you. Have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, pile number 2, you guys select the Magenta Agate. So let's go ahead and take a look here at what these cards have to say. All right, we have lightning, power. Kind of getting definitely a stormy quality coming through here. It might be one of those weeks of big shift for you. You have to be careful though because what I'm sensing is I'm feeling like something going on in your mind versus like the reality of the situation. Okay, it's kind of what I'm sensing. And that your mind might be kind of in this stormy place, but in reality, your life is also just totally normal. And nothing really has changed in the external world. So I'm feeling an energy of like, while it's lightning and while it's powerful, it's taking you toward a place of calm. And there's I don't know, I hate to use this word, but like there's a lesson in this moment. There's a lesson or there's value in this moment But the lesson and the value have nothing to do with the issue itself, but rather has to do with how you handle it, has to do with how you perceive or how you choose to use your mind. Because that's the real power, isn't it? It's how we choose to see, how we choose to perceive, how we choose to believe, or how we choose to separate, or whatever it is. It's all within our choice. So you're actually learning a lot about self-empowerment right now and what that truly means. It doesn't necessarily mean, confidence to walk into a room and be the showstopper, if that's not inherently your personality. It just means, do you have full autonomy? Are you fully sovereign? And coming into awareness of how your mind works, coming into awareness of how your emotions sort of bubble up and simmer down, and coming into awareness of how this whole system really functions, right? Your body, mind, spirit, emotional body. How does all of this really operate? Okay, so deeper levels of understanding of who you are and what it means to be a human being, and how powerful that truly is. So we have the Nine of Swords, the Hierophant, the Page of Coins. We have the Ace of Wands, the Knight of Swords, and the Sun. See, with the Nine of Swords, there's definitely an element of unraveling, or you feel tied, you feel confined. But again, that's just thought. Swords are symbolic of thought. And that's exactly what I was feeling with this power card. Like, I don't know that this is necessarily external. I think this is internal stuff going on. And here with the Hierophant, this is your opportunity to sort of take back control. I'm not saying don't feel what you feel. I'm not saying to repress or to bypass. Okay, that's not the recommendation here. You can feel all the things, but it's, are you going to allow those things to fully overtake you? Then when I say you, I mean like your soul, right? Your essence. Are you going to allow the things of this world to twist you and bend you and mold you and kind of like manipulate you? Or are you going to stand firm in your power? And I'm not saying you have to do it perfectly this time, but I think there's a lesson here in that. There's value in this experience. And when I see the page, whenever I see pages, I often see like the apprentice energy, the student energy, coming to learn, the Page of Coins coming to learn from the Hierophant. Now, you may have actually an external person in your life who is often like the rock, right? They serve as a very grounding presence in your life. They serve as very wise. They tend to have kind of a lot of things really well put together. They have life figured out. They kind of have an old soul type of quality. And there may be something, some advice, some mindset, something that they can really offer. Now, this may be someone that you know personally. This may be, a famous philosopher that you love, or a famous spiritual teacher, or a guru, or something. I'm thinking like Rumi in my mind. I'm thinking Rumi. Oh, here comes Annie. Oh, she's a little too big to be on the table. So she likes to sit behind the computer. There we go. So there might be someone like that you lean in toward, that you lean on for support. Maybe you read the books, maybe you get online and watch, get some quotes or something just to help you kind of reset your mind a little bit. Because when I see this Ace of Wands, I see that there is great opportunity from this experience. And I see the Sun, and I see great success. But this needed to be experienced because this is a leverageable experience. Because the universe cannot deliver that which you are truly ready for until you are truly ready. And this is a moment to showcase, like, yes, universe, I am truly ready. I have done the healing work. I have done the meditations. I have done the growth. I have done the therapy. I've done all of these things. I've learned and I've learned and I've learned, and I'm ready. And I sense that the universe also senses that you are in fact ready. And that's why protecting your vibration during this moment is so critical, because when you protect your vibration and you do not allow external things to truly manipulate or cajole you in any way, the universe says, you're ready for the big one, the big stuff, right? This is not even just like little opportunities. I feel like there's big things on the table for you. And if I can steal from Abraham Hicks, right, in the vortex, there are big things in the vortex for you that are just waiting to fully manifest in your life, whether that is the love of your life, someone with whom you can get married and have a family, or whether it's a great career move that will completely shift the entire trajectory of your life, or whether it's an incredible passion or a new creative inkling for you to really kind of sink your hands into and to develop, again, a whole new life for yourself. And with the Knight of Swords, I do see this warrior-esque energy, and I see a lot of fire with the sun and the volcano in the back here. So there is a lot of fire. There's definitely a lot of passion, and there's certainly a lot of desire. And that really is where the focus needs to be, because anything else, anything other than that is just binding you at this point. It's just holding you up. It's preventing you from this, okay? Especially the sun, from truly shining. So from this, I'm not going to say it's definitely this week, right? But I mean, I think from this experience, not from the experience, but from how you handle the experience, how you manage it, how you feel your way through it, you'll notice some pretty significant things unfolding for you. Memories of love, beautiful. And then we have rest and rejuvenate. See, how is it? Isn't it interesting? Rest and rejuvenate, but we have this like incredible storm, power, lightning, big waves crashing, all this stuff. And yet here you are in the forest, just sort of meditating. Memories of love. Like, how soft are these cards here? And I do think it is your softness right now that is actually your superpower. And that's counterintuitive. And a lot of people don't necessarily always feel that way about soft, divine feminine kind of energy, receptive energy. They don't often understand it because we live in such a masculine energy world, right? There's always work to do. There's always goals to achieve. There's always places to go, things to do. There's always these like check mark items that we have to check off our lists. But I see a lot of freedom from that within these soft places. See, memories of love, I often equate to the place where our soul really came from, right? From spirit, or from the field, if you will. And that's the kind of love that I think humans need more of, right? It's that unconditional, compassionate, understanding, accepting kind of love. And I suspect that this is one of the reasons why you're going through this lightning moment, whatever that may be, this flash in the pan experience, because you are here to offer more light and love, okay? Your dreams need a practical plan. And then we have step out of your comfort zone. So I like the practicality component, because right now I think practicality is actually, the word that's coming to my mind is like the safe haven. Practicality is the safe haven. What makes sense? Because when you're in this kind of spinny place, not a lot makes sense all the time, Dots don't connect necessarily, and there's just a lot of unruly and unpredictable emotion kind of coming in, and our thoughts are trying to process and compute, right? And sometimes emotions are not logical. Our brain tries to make it that way so that we can effectively communicate with other people about it. But if you just sort of sit in the emotion and try to, it can be really, really hard sometimes to make sense of it. So what I'm sensing is through this rest and rejuvenation, allowing the emotion to calm itself, allowing the inner body to find that serene place or that tranquil place. From there, a practical plan will emerge. Ace of Wands. There will be an emergence of a new path forward. One that I think you'll be excited about. One that will feel right and it will feel good. It will, again, step out of your comfort zone. It won't be known to you. It won't be easy, but it will feel right. And it will be simple. And it will have certain steps very clear cut for you. So I don't see you walking into a path of confusion here. Be loyal to what you love. Yeah, and that loyalty to what you love is the sun energy, right? It's the inner child, the innocence, the creativity, the things in your life that kind of take you out of this world a little bit, the things that get you into a flow state where time can, 5 hours feels like 5 minutes kind of thing. Be loyal to those things. Be loyal to the people that bring you joy. Be loyal to the experiences that improve your life. Okay, that's going to be a really good point of focus. Activate your healing power, Blue. This is certainly going to be inner healing, but really your response to this lightning power card and your ability to transcend the knee-jerk reactions. Blue, activate your healing power. You are in effect healing the world. The people who are in this rested and rejuvenated place are the true healers. They are the true bringers of light with the sun, because they are consistent and constant presences that in a way you may be the rock for someone else. And by being a rock, by being stable and steady, by being practical, by being aligned, you offer that healing. And that healing then trickles out into the whole world. Inner trust. Yes, you have to have that inner trust. You have to have the ability to know what your gut is saying and know where your intuition is guiding you, and to not question. And to not let anyone else get you to question, right? This is, again, has a lot to do with full autonomy, because in the past, we've all had to learn lessons, myself included, right? About, well, I had a feeling, I had an inkling that I should go here, or I should say this to this person, or I should, X, Y, or Z. But then someone talked me out of it. And then looking back, you say, well, I know I should have done that. Right? So trusting in that moment, the very moment that it is happening, and acting accordingly. Okay? All right, I'm going to leave you with that, pile 2. Thank you so much. You guys know how much I love you. Have a great week. Take care. All right, pile number 3, you guys selected the violet agate. Let's go ahead and take a look. So we start with rain, purification. So you're clearly getting a fresh start of some kind. You're clearly getting a moment of reset or a moment of reboot. But the good news is you get to bring along all the wisdom that you've acquired with you, acquired throughout the years of your life. There is a blank slate of some sort that you're dealing with. You get to start fresh. You get to start new. You get to begin again. And while sometimes the rain, we are in a little bit of a stormy environment. I'm definitely feeling that coming out in the cards, and through, specifically in the U.S. politically, I know we're kind of in a little bit of a stormy place. But I do think that there's a stormy essence, but the storm obviously being cleansing and recharging. This is what we've needed. We've needed a little bit of a storm to kind of charge. I'm getting like the electric charge of lightning, which was the card that came out in the past, pile number 2, but that often comes along with rain, right? Lightning and rain. There's a cleanness to it. There's a rebirth that happens after. 2 of Cups, 6 of Wands, King of Swords, an Emperor, 5 of Wands, and the Hermit. Now, the Hermit, I often feel, is like the spiritual essence of the Emperor, right? There is that wisdom that comes forward throughout both of those cards. The Emperor being the more human, active component, the Hermit being more internal, more spiritual, that kind of thing. And there may be a little bit of a battle going on internally in terms of which side you should really choose. 5 of Wands can bring a little bit of chaos or competition or anger. And you say, well, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to be the Hermit, or am I supposed to be the Emperor? Am I supposed to get up and do something and go to battle, or am I supposed to just sort of surrender and let this pass? And am I supposed to, let karma play itself out? And I think with the 2 of Cups, I'm kind of sensing an element of balance between the two. I don't know that 1, the Emperor, or 2, the Hermit, leaning too far in either one of those directions is going to be beneficial for you. I think you need to have the wisdom and implement that wisdom through certain actions in your life in order to get you to where you really want to be. Now, that could be in any area of your life, be it career, be it relationships, be it, some sort of situation that you have with your friends, whatever it is. But I think standing firm. Now, I'm not trying to say to try to project your opinion all over everything or try to get everyone to see it from your perspective, because I don't know that ever necessarily works. But whatever your ideas, whatever your opinions, whatever your life path, whatever feels the best for you, to really live honorably in that. To live honorably and to not be quiet about it. And you don't have to shove it down everyone's throats, but to I feel like this is maybe a moment of full commitment for you. You get to fully commit to your way of life, fully commit to the way you want your life to go. And I see this King of Swords being, really similar to the Emperor as well. I mean, we have really strong players coming out. And maybe that's what's ultimately going to emerge from this rain purification process. It's just a really, really, really strong person. So yes, you have the wisdom, but you also have the confidence and the pride, but the good kind of pride, right? That dignity, if you will, to live according to that wisdom and to not care what people think, and to not care if people fall out of your lives, and to not care if there has to be some kind of a loss or surrender of some kind or sacrifice that needs to be made, right? Because at the end of the day, it's ultimately about how you feel about yourself. It's about that self-respect. It's about the self-honor. And being strong. And with the 2 of Cups, I feel that there is someone like-minded, like-hearted that you are aligning with, aligning towards even. You're moving in that 2 of Cups direction. You're moving to that unity. And this could be romantic, right? Or it could be, you with, again, a friend or something, or new friends, new connections, new people. 6 of Wands is an indication of success. It's an indication of victory. That you are, in fact, going to be victorious in this. You're going to be victorious in this moment and in this battle. That when you look in the mirror, you should just see yourself as a winner, because that's the only option for you. But it's not winning the game that everyone else is playing. That's the thing. You have to keep that in mind, that you're not playing the same game as everybody else. You're playing a much higher game. The Hermit doesn't play regular human games. right? You don't play in the mess. You don't play in the chaos. The game you play is a game of really being the best, and a game of true self-knowledge. And with that comes great responsibility, one that responsibility that you are ready to fully embrace. So we have patience, a card of patience. And then we also have a card that says prosperity begins. See, there is something wonderful coming out of this purification process. The universe seems to be weeding out the weak. When I say the weak, what I mean is the people who are easily, who don't have that autonomy. They don't have the self-knowledge. They don't have, because they haven't been through the healing process. And again, we've been talking about this forever. This is not a surprise. 2018 was when I started talking about it, but I know certain other spiritual people have been talking about it for years before that. But I started really noticing it in 2018, where that gap, that divide between the people of light, if you want to say it, are really separating from the people who are living in chaos. So it's like truth versus chaos almost, The more and more aligned with truth you become, the more and more separate you become from the chaos. And I see that starting to really work out well for you. There's going to be prosperity in all aspects, prosperity in relationships, prosperity in money, prosperity in, just where you live. And even in a lot of ways, I'm hearing good luck. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that there's going to be prosperity with good luck. So, I think you're setting yourself up really well. Bring love into the situation. Love was the first card that came out in the first pile as well. Of course, we're not talking about romantic love. We're talking about love, pure love, the love of the Creator toward all of its creations. And there is a great deal of compassion that must be exhibited. You must have compassion toward yourself, and you must have compassion for others. Now, that's not always easy. We are not always really ready for that. Especially with that Five of Wands. And I know there's an internal struggle going on here a little bit, but I also sense that Five of Wands is, maybe an external energy as well. Maybe the external conflicts that are going on right now are really impacting, or not impacting, but the external conflicts are motivating you rather to be more and more of a being of love. And then we have take time to breathe out. Yes, patience. Take time to breathe out. This is not a moment of knee-jerk reactions. It's not a time to suddenly get up and go, or suddenly go do something just because you don't have that self-control, right? This is about taking your time. You can be strong. You can be empowered. You can really be living in that, practicing what you preach type of thing, but not in a holier than thou kind of way, but simply because you have determined that this is the best for you, and not trying to shove it down anyone else's throats, right? But just living and being in that autonomy, being in that sovereignty. But yes, take time to breathe out. Just doesn't need to be any reactions. Learn from the past. This is an opportunity for you to do it differently, for you to be the revolution. The revolution really is not going to be the kind of revolution that we've seen in the past, but it truly is going to be a revolution of light. And I think you're certainly a soldier or a warrior in that, but the tactics are a lot different. The tactics are more peaceful. And I see you being the embodiment of that, to bring in this new world, to bring in this new earth. Cyan, build your confidence. Well, that's really what the King of Swords and the Emperor is really all about. That opportunity to not necessarily build, but to just be confident, to be in that state of trusting in yourself, that inner trust, I guess, if you will. And the more you trust yourself, the more confident you inevitably become. What is already with you? All the wisdom. I mean, you've done a lot. I mean, you've progressed so much. You have all the wisdom, you have all the knowledge that you could possibly need. You have yourself, you have your mind, you have your awareness. Right? You have all of that. All of that are all of those things are tools for you as you move forward. Okay? All right, pile number 3. I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you so much. You guys know I love you. Have a great week. Take care.